we want to say a farewell to things that are unfair in our life, or what we, by verbalizing unfair, we want to be saying goodbye to that. We don't want to be saying, oh, this is unfair, or crying about it, or even dealing with all those emotions of unfairness. And even though there might be a logic to it and a legitimacy to it in our feelings, it does not mean that it's going to help us in any way, shape, or form. When does crying unfair really help us? All right. Now, sometimes in situations like if you're in school and if my kid someone does something wrong to them, then I tell them, make sure you tell the teacher, that this wasn't right. Now, that's a different scenario. All right. But we're talking about scenarios in our life that were unfair, and yet we cry about it and nothing really changes from it. Or it's an obvious thing that it's unfair. It doesn't help anyone by stating those things at those times. So we want to say farewell, and we want to go through unfair situations well in our life. And so we're looking through different Bible characters for that. But to start out, I wanted to mention how I remember there's one gentleman that I went to Bible college with. And, our Bible college was a very strong Bible college. A lot of very headstrong people, and we were strong, stubborn people. And this one guy was been a Christian most of his life, but then really strayed away from God, and was really coming back to God. But then he started bragging how he was on job applications, how he would never put he was a Christian because he wants to get the job, and he's afraid that if he says he's a Christian, that number one, he won't get the job, and number two, if he says he can't work Sundays, that he won't get the job either. And I thought, what a wuss, right? That was my thought during Bible college. I'm thinking, wow. And then I've met so many people since then that do the very same thing. All right, and perhaps you're one of them. I don't know, but I want to encourage you not to be ashamed of Christ, not to be ashamed that you're a Christian. Like, oh yeah, but all these other Christians make Christianity look bad, or I want to get the job, so I want to. What else will you do to get the job? Question there, right? What else will you do to get the job? What else will you not say about yourself to get the job? Where is that line at? Here's the thing, I want Jesus to cross the line of my reputation. I want Jesus' fame to be greater than mine. I want that when I do a good job at work, that people recognize, oh, he's a Christian. I wonder if there's something to that Christianity. I wonder if there's something to that Jesus, that's why he's doing an excellent job in what he's doing. That's what I want people to say. I want them to know him through whatever I'm doing. And I want to encourage you that, hey, God wants to use you. Maybe he didn't use somebody else. Maybe someone else put a terrible foot forward in the name of Christ. But that doesn't have to be you. You can do something different. You can do something different. You're like, oh, but it's not fair. I won't get the job. Oh, there's that unfair thing right there. Here's the thing. God's favor is not fair either. And God wants to show you that he can do much with little. Let me say it again. God can do much with little. Like he can do more with 5 days a week than you could do with 7 days a week. He can do more in 1 day than what you can do in 1,000 days. Does that make sense? So in your job, if you say you need to get Sunday off, guess what? He can do more through you in those few days. I'm a testimony of that, I'll just say, all right? I remember in my sales job that I had, one of the jobs I had was a shoe salesman. I'd done many different jobs, but that was one of them. And I became one of the top salesmen in my company at that time. And I didn't work on Sundays, and that was supposedly one of the biggest retail days of where I was working at, okay? And I would not work Sunday mornings. However, God still favored me, and it wasn't fair. And I'm grateful to God for it, all right?